and welcome to another exciting episode of Can It Take a K26, the show where we take a variety of blasters and see if they can be upgraded using a K26 spring. I am your host, Captain Xavier, and today we are going to be covering the new shotguns, namely the ones that take the new elite shells. Up first, we of course have the Shell Strike DS6. The Shell Strike came out in 2020 and is presumably DS, I assume stands for Dart Shell? Question mark? But the 6 refers to the fact that it holds 6 in shells in storage. So, it is, as I said, it takes shells. It has a release on the side, opens it up. You put the shell in. You prime it. You fire it. You hit the button again, and then you have to manually eject. There is no spring-loaded anything that launches them out, but it is still fairly nifty. Now, it does have 3 individual ARs, which we will get into what that means when we go to fire it. So let's go get the stock performance first. For numbers, we are going to fire a number of configurations. Because this thing has 3 individual ARs, you can fire it with 1, 2, or 3 darts in it, and it will function, but will perform differently. So we're going to fire it 3 times with all 3, because that is, kind of the point of the Shell Strike. 46. 48. 50. Not bad for 3 darts at a time. Now let's try 2 darts. 51. So no major change there. 56. We're up a little bit. Now let's try and see what happens when we fire only 1 dart. 66. So that was a noticeable improvement. 64. 1 more. 67. So single firing does in fact improve it. And the neat thing is you can leave the shell in there and just load from the barrel, and however many you get loaded before you need to panic fire, you can. So that's pretty cool. Let's take it to the range and see how it performs in the field. Well, the weather is currently lovely and I have daylight, so I'm here on the range. For those of you who watched my recent range day video, notice I've added additional targets over on this side. And more just in general, and it's lovely. I've got the first one painted up. It was always my plan to paint them. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and somebody recommended putting the range increment. So on the ones on this side that are 25, 50, 75, and 100, they will have those range increments. The ones on the other side, I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that side because they're at weird intervals, like 73 and 41, stuff like that. So I may go with something else on that side, and then the 2 standing ones, I don't know if you can see the one way in the back that's back there at 110, and then the other one that's up here at 25. Probably just going to put X-Strike logos on them, or smiley face or something. I don't know. But I'll definitely be putting a bunch more here at the 25-foot area, because that's where I'll be testing. Like, stock blasters aren't going to hit much past that, or aren't going to hit accurately past that for the most part. If we find ones that will, then obviously I'll make those things so they can move back. But we're going to start here. See what kind of a spread we're getting with 3 darts. Three darts at 25 feet. I am not impressed. Try it again. See what happens if we only shoot 2 darts. So firing 3 darts, those were coming well short of the mark. Let's see if to settle down. There is some issues with wind, which might actually not be helping. There is a bit of a breeze at the moment, but it shouldn't be affecting it that bad, I wouldn't think. Let's see. Can I hit something with 2 darts? Aha! I hit. Okay. How about a single dart? A lot more power. I don't know what happened. It went 10 feet. Might not have had the pushed all the way in. Aha! What? Oh, I didn't have the shell door closed all the way. Well, it's got a lot more power, but too much even for those elite darts. Alright, see if we can improve it. So, nothing surprising or terribly impressive in the stock performance. It's great for a shotgun pistol at close range, obviously, but I would like to be able to get at least a little bit more power out of it. So let's get this thing open and see if it can take a K26. And if not, what can it take?
Shut up and sit down.
Right, well, I am in. Okay, I don't like that at all. That being what? So obviously it had to be, you know, a two-part priming mechanism because it needed to, because this returns when you prime it. And that's just so flimsy. I don't like that. But let's take a look. No. Nope. K26 is not going to fit down into that plunger head. It's just a little bit too wide. That is a very particular spring. We could go with something smaller, but we can't go with something any bigger. So let's take a look and see what I've got that might be the same size. All right, found something in the bin that seems to be significantly heavier, so we're going to give that a try. The issue is going to be the catch, or it's going to be that two-part priming mechanism. Just, if anything proves to be an issue, I'm willing to bet it's going to be that. Alright, well I got the spring in there, and I think I've got all the internals where they need to be, so let's put this thing back together. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Headshot.
Oh, that's right. I've started pulling clips from his videos, because I still haven't gotten any word from that man. Alright, let's see if we improved anything. 62 on 3, so yeah. I think that's an improvement. Let's try another 3. 54. Let's try a single. 78. So not a huge improvement, but there definitely does seem to be some improvement. Go see how it works on the range now. Yeah, right, we're losing daylight, but let's take a look at the upgraded version. No idea what spring is in this, but it definitely felt heavier. Prime is a little heavier. Let's see if we can better hit a target at 25 feet. Yes. Yes, we can. See what happens if we only load 2 rounds. Oh yeah, much better. And single shot. Still overpowered with a single shot. But, yeah, definite improvement. I know it can take heavier stuff, but that'll do. So, some improvement. A little. I would definitely say there has been some improvement. Not a huge amount. Enough to be worth it? I don't know. I do, from what I understand, you can put most of the magazine-fed Springer upgrade springs will actually work in this. So things like retaliator springs and things like that, which means you could get some fairly heavy springs, because, you know, they make 12 and up kilogram springs for things like the Retaliator. And you could, I believe, put them in here. The problem is that catch mechanism and this priming mechanism is not great. However, my boy Luchathor13 has already taken one of these and replaced the whole plunger rod and priming mech with one from a dual strike, which then gives you a direct prime and a proper finger hook, and then you can put a fairly beefy spring in this. The downside is, of course, that it no longer collapses in, which is nice and svelte, but it allows for a much heavier spring load. So really kind of what you're looking for there. I have 2 of these now. One of them I will probably do the minimized, because I don't like the shell storage here. I'd rather have something I can holster. And on that one, I will probably go with trying to put a really heavy spring and a rear prime, or a dual strike prime on there. And the other one, I will probably actually follow Walcomm's build and make one that is a master key, because having a shell ejecting master key like that is really very cool. And I like what he did with that, and I'd like to give that a try. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. It's still a fantastic shotgun pistol. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's not worth it and that it's not super cool. I like that it takes shells, and I particularly like that you can also still front load it. That I really like. And it was getting upwards of 40 feet and a decent tight grouping, so you would definitely be able to hit things at close range. So it is a good last-ditch zombie blaster. No question there, and I definitely want to do a minimized build and carry this at something, at an HVZ or something, and use this as my oh crap blaster. So yeah, that one's pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at the next contestant after these messages. All of the K26 used on this series was donated by Out of Darts. Check out his new website at outofdarts.com for all your Nerf modding needs. Our next contestant is, of course, the Trilogy DS15. The Trilogy was released in 2019. The DS obviously refers to Dart Shell, and maybe it's Dart Storage. That would make much more sense. Anyway, it stores 15 shells worth of darts here in the back. It is pump action, but doesn't have any kind of an internal magazine. You load a shell in there, you fire it, you prime it, the shell ejects. It's neat. It also uses the new Elite shells as opposed to the old Sledgefire shells, presumably just because they re-engineered them so they would more easily fall in there correctly. They rounded stuff. I don't know. It's a shame that the Sledgefire shells aren't made anymore, and they don't seem to be bringing them back. But this thing is pretty neat. But let's get those stock numbers. Now for some numbers on the Trilogy. We'll do the same battery of tests. We will start with 3, and then 2, then 1. 61. 57. 52. Oh, come on. Now for the 2s. 63. 65. Now for the singles. 86. 79. So yeah, single, this one is actually not bad. Unfortunately, the barrel is so long you can't just front load it. Even if, I mean, if you could cut it down, I suppose, but again, see how it does in the field. See if I can hit that 25-foot with the Trilogy. Oh, we did. Up there. Man, I missed that time. Let's try 2. No real difference with the 2. Try 1. Where'd I put them? Wrong pocket. Come on. Oh! Hit the tree. Alright, well, it a little better than the shell strike, but needs improvement. See what we can do. So again, about what I would expect from something of this design, but I want more. So let's see if it can take a K26, and if not, what can it take? Oh, need a smaller screwdriver, huh? Alright, be that way. Alright, we are in. And this thing is complicated. A lot of locks, there's gears, but that is actually promising, as gears tend to mean a more robust system. But it also means I have to figure out how to get in here and get stuff out and put it all back in again, and ugh. Hey, look at that, I got a section of K26 exactly the right size. The question is, will we get enough compression? And that's dubious, because that is a much lower frequency spring, but we're gonna try it. We are gonna try it. Well, it looks like it'll go as far back as it possibly can without actually fully compressing the spring, so I'm hopeful. Let's put it back together if I can figure out how. Alright, I got it in there. I really hope it works, because I don't want to have to take this apart again, but I will if I have to. But let's get this thing buttoned up. But first, another burgled word from our sponsor.
Rock solid.
I will get word from that man. You just wait. All right. Here we go. Well, it seems to catch. Let's button it up and see if there was actually any improvement. It doesn't feel like it's a whole lot heavier. Well, it seems to catch. I don't know that it feels like it's any heavier. Trying? I don't know that it's actually any heavier. Let's go find out. See if there was an improvement. Doesn't feel like there was from the Prime, but let's see. 61. 61. 65. Let's try 2. 63. 64. And with a single, 87. 86. So again, not a huge performance boost. Let's see it in the range. So the FPS was pretty much the same. Let's see if it shoots pretty much the same. Try 2-shot. And shingle. One more single shot. Woo! Weird. That's what I get for using stock darts. Anyway, not a huge performance boost. A little bit, maybe, but nothing to write home about. Let's go talk about it. So that's a yes. It just isn't a huge improvement. There was some improvement, I felt, but not much to write home about. I mean, we're looking at 5 FPS improvement at the most. But there are obviously other springs that you could put in here that would improve it better. I wasn't getting full compression, and I did have a flattened end on the K26, so I probably could have gotten 2 or 3 more coils, which would have given probably a more significant boost at that point. There are better springs than K26. There are heavier springs. I don't know that I'd want to try K14. Even if it would fit, then I would start to worry about those gears. But doubling it up with something, I don't know if a long shot spring would fit, but there are springs that would fit over a K26 that would give you a little bit more of a boost. I'm not sure how far I'd want to go, how far I'd trust those gears. Once they break, the blaster is destroyed, essentially. So it's kind of a questionable, but it will, in fact, take a K26. So let's recap. All right, for those of you just tuning in or who just skipped to the end to see the results, that was a no for the shell strike, but yes to a spring upgrade, and it can definitely take a lot more. I will be doing some build with this in the near future because I really enjoy this platform. And that was a yes to the trilogy, but it wasn't a huge improvement. Again, I could probably get a little bit more K26 in there. I could probably double up the K26 with something and get a little bit more out of this, but that gear mechanism makes me nervous to try to go too far. But as they are still excellent shotgun blasters. They do have a nice tight spread at 30 feet. You would definitely be good for firing last-ditch at zombies. I wouldn't try to run one of these as a primary in something like HVC because of the cumbersome reload process. This one, while having it eject its shell is nice, the fact that it doesn't always eject the shell and then the shell is stuck in there and you have to shake the blaster and all of that, it's a little bit squiffy, and I wouldn't want to trust my life to it in an HVZ. But this, I would happily trust my life as a last-ditch blaster, as the holdout for, oh shoot, here they come, blam. This one would be great because it's a shotgun pistol, because it has that spread. I like that you can single load it in the front if you wanted to get a lot more power out of it. Not so much that I would ever worry about hurting anybody. You're still looking at less than 100 FPS unless you really crank the spring up in this, which you definitely can. I mean, they already have single shells for this and mega shells and rival shells and everything else for it. So it's a neat platform, and I'm looking forward to playing with that one more. This one, will probably end up in the loaner collection. But yeah, that's the results. I do have the next episode lined up, and then will be the 100th episode, and that one's going to be silly. We're going to try to break some stuff. So that should be a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, share, Patreon. You know how to support channels. Thank you guys for watching. Train!